Hey Serena. Yeah, the background is working out okay to let the caricature stand out. So a lot of these suggestions I've already mentioned, but I just not seeing them incorporated. This kind of text is just really not legible. I mean, even if it wasn't going, the vertical text like this is just hard to read. And plus you've got this busy background and this, the complicated caricature right there. So I would really stick with some simple text. Maybe you have to make the caricature smaller so you could fit the text in here. So again, just have a look at some of these examples that I've posted. And really look at the text and really study them. I mean, this is how we learn, right? Noticed how there's a stroke around this text and really look at how readable the text is, and then look at why it's readable. This is readable and legible because it's got a black background. That means that's negative space. So, just some important design things. Why is this legible? Because it's a light color over a dark background. And again, same here. And this, again, adding this glow really helped make this text more readable. So I've tried to mention this a couple times, hopefully that you would fix it so I could give you some other feedback. This font, all caps, is very hard to read in general. So, I mean, there's things that you could, where's the computer? There's things you can do to make it more legible. I don't have this font, so it's probably not going to let me do anything with it. But you can, you can add some spacing to it so it doesn't, so the letters aren't so close together. Oh, see, it's not going to let me do it because I don't have the font, so I'm going to undo that. So that's another way to deal with it. You've got the black stroke, but what you really need is something like a white stroke. The black isn't working because, again, you've got black, dark on dark. So, again, if you did something like a white stroke, can you see how much more legible that is now? It's still hard to read, though, right? So, I mean, I would get another font, or I would just use something that's not all caps. Again, not readable. So, in terms of creating some negative space, I mean, I can see why you did this because you don't have any space. Just make the caricature smaller. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I don't know what, that's not referring to anything. Yeah, so we need to put this in that layer, right? So it's, yeah. So just make it smaller because that's really about the best way to deal with the situation, to give yourself some more negative space. This is why we do thumbnails and why there's so many revisions is because this is just stuff that you learn. And I mean, so now you could put the text up in this negative space, right? Another thing, I would get rid of the, this drop shadow. Drop shadows just do not work at all. In the announcements, there's I posted about how to create a perspective cast shadow, and if you notice, most of your classmates have done that, so you might want to have a look at their work as well. Very short, like 3 or 4 steps, and then you have a shadow that looks realistic. It doesn't, the drop shadow just makes it look flatter. Okay, so as you can kind of see, it just looks flat. So let's see, and the next thing I do look at is I will really zoom in and look at your masks. So this is, and this is going to be this is a problem because it wasn't fixed early. See how pixelated that is? And again, I just don't think you're viewing my videos. So, I mean, I can't make anyone do it, but you can see that, right? That you can't even see that. So I just wanted you to compare, see how pixelated this looks? I hope that you can see that. But let me zoom in on another one and show you the difference. First of all, I'm just going to turn this back off so you can see it and put the white back on. See what happens when I zoom into this one? Do you see any pixels at all? No, you don't, because the images are high quality. And at this state of the game, of the class, I know this is hard to change, but to truly, to create a portfolio piece, it really has to be high quality, and that's the purpose of these classes. I mean, of course it's the grade, and of course it's learning this stuff, but if you walk away from all these classes that you're paying a lot of money for without having a portfolio piece, it's really, it's really kind of too bad. So this is kind of why I'm trying to encourage you to view this feedback and incorporate it. Okay, so anyway, let me know if you have any questions. You're probably going to have to take the point ding for the low quality images and for some of the other stuff that, the other suggestions that were never incorporated. But you can fix the text and you can add a shadow. You can even make the background probably a little bit lighter or darker. I'm going to use a levels adjustment, which we did a couple weeks ago, so it's not anything new. So obviously dark really doesn't stand out, right? So let's look and see what it does when we make it lighter. So if we make it lighter, the lighter you make it, the more it stands out, right? So I would probably bring it up about that much. So now it stands out a lot more, right? Turn it off. Okay, so anyway, there's other adjustments you can do. You can do hue and saturation. You can do brightness and contrast. Hue and saturation also works if you bring the saturation down. It also makes it more legible, and it makes this blue and the text stand out more. Okay, anyway, I'm rambling on enough, but anyway, I do hope you can make these suggestions. I'm on Google Hangouts all the time, so just grab me. Yeah, I'm sorry if you haven't had a chance to view the feedbacks. Okay, so anyway, yeah, let me know if you have any questions.